In today's episode, I'll be giving my review and reaction to the 8th episode of Survivor's 48th season titled A Rift Between All of Us. So let's find out what was a rift between all of us. Do something, man. People are questioning you. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the dub. I think this episode was not the best episode of Survivor. I thought the latter half of the episode held up better, but comparing this versus the exact same episode with the same exact structure in season 47, I think that episode was a lot better. I think this season, unfortunately, it's looking like it's going to be a little bit dry moving forward. I mean, there is the prospect of this alliance fracturing, but if they're actually going to play the honesty and integrity game, it's going to be kind of like this week where you have two pseudo battles going on of keeping the extra people intact. So I think we need some spicy moves. We need some people to spice this up. The person who's voted out this episode tried that a lot and it didn't work. And I'm hoping someone's able to shake up the narrative. But we kicked this episode out with Chrissy coming back from their last tribal council, and she's going to immediately rebuke what she said at her tribal council. We talked about it last week, but she kind of was like, "I'm here to play the game. Like, it's you got to lie to people and cheat and steal. This is Survivor," which I agree. That's been Survivor for the last 43 seasons, basically. And I mean, early on it was still even that, but I don't know. Like, she's here to play the game. It's just she got stuck in this one season with a lot of people who are trying to play this honest and integrity game and let the strong people go to the end. It's like, I don't know. I feel like every season there's always this group of people who are like, we're going to have the strong people go to the end this time. Then it never actually works because they end up getting voted out. But so far we're at 9 people left. Haven't seen that happen on this season. So others goings ons, we have Mitch and Mary still happy to be here. I mean, it's got to be nice for Mitch where he was the target last week, was blindsided 2 weeks ago. So he's able to kind of just chill out a little bit here, get his footing, figure out who his people are more and more. I mean, the more you get deeper into the game, the better you can kind of flip that switch and just start working with people. I guess in this season that doesn't really matter that much because they have a solid alliance. Mary, we're introduced to Mary and David's relationship throughout this episode, which was kind of weird that they just didn't show us this until now. They worked together on the split or on the swap tribe. So I guess they have a strong relationship, but Mary's still happy to be here as well. I guess she thought she might have been in danger. Not really though. Like, she was never really even a consideration of a target. She hasn't been since the early days at Vula Beach. And yeah, so some nice sunrise chat after the post tribal fodder. Joe's asking, or I think it was Kyle asked, who is the biggest animal you can take out? Joe says a retired zoo gorilla, which I'm giving him zero chance against that. A pig, I think you could beat. I think I could beat a pig. What's the biggest animal you guys think you could take out? I think that's one of those questions where I could probably sit down with some people and have that podcast conversation to kick it off when we go into some deep areas of debate and stuff. Kyle says hyena. I don't know, not the most intriguing answers. I feel like hyenas, those things are ferocious, man. I wouldn't want to fuck with no hyena. Gorillas as well. Gorilla. I know Joe said like it wouldn't actually come after you, but I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to take a gorilla, man. Have you seen Planet of the Apes? Have you seen King Kong? Have you seen Godzilla? We got no fucking shot against those gorillas, dude. So thought that was just a funny moment. And all this is interrupted by Eva reading the tree mail, which when they show tree mail on Survivor, it's either going to be a stupid twist or it's a slow episode. In this case, both, where we bring back the stupid pair up challenge at the final 10. Awkward silence after Eva announces this. Like, we got to pair up with somebody, and then nobody says anything for a couple minutes. Thought that was funny. But right away, we dive into the pairs, which Shaheen makes an immediate run to team up with Kamilla, which like triggers everybody for some reason. I don't really know what that was all about. I do think this is a bad play by Shaheen, considering him, Kamilla, Kyle, and Joe supposedly have like a secret alliance going on. I would never be the first one to pair. I would just say let's do random. and that's kind of shot down. They're just like, let's go with who we go with. So Mary and David go together, as we saw their strong relationship at the beginning of the episode. Chrissy and Kyle, don't know what that one was all about. And then Joe and Eva are like, all right, there's 4 people left, let's go together. Obviously, they're the most obviously pair working together, so nice that they get to do the challenge together. And that kind of just leaves Star and Mitch to be together. They were kind of the, last picks on the playground, so they end up with each other type thing. So wonder if that's really relevant to how the challenge goes. Some early chatter from the tribe. The early target is going to be Chrissy, but Mitch is pulling together an old Steva contingent. They still have Kamilla, Kyle, Chrissy, David, and they have somebody else? Mitch. So they have 5 people. If they want, that's half the votes. They just need to get one more person. David thinks he could pull Mary, take out Joe, Eva, Shaheen, or Star. Probably Shaheen or Joe. But I don't know. It didn't really seem like that plan was ever going to come to fruition. The other side's pushing Chrissy due to her tribal council, and she also has kind of put it out there to get Eva and Joe. I think she does that a little bit later on as well. But interesting with how the episode actually pans out that they're showing this. I mean, usually they kind of hide who's actually going to be the target. I mean, I guess they're kind of just being transparent. I don't know. So we get to our challenge. It's a typical stage challenge. Same thing as season 47, where the 2 pairs who go out first will go on a journey where their vote will be at risk, which, that just means someone's going to at least lose it because new era survivor, right? So first stage, Shaheen and Kamilla are terrible, which was weird given the emphatic makings of their pairing up, and also Star and Mitch are out as well to start it. I mean, that one made more sense because they were kind of just, nobody really talked about them being together. And then at the next stage, I like that's the next stage where you're like building on the stairs and you have to get the right pieces together to go up the stairs, and then use the boards to cross the bridge. So that was fun. But Kyle and Chrissy go for it all. They go for broke and then they fall. So they're going to be out as well. So this leaves Mary, David, Joe, and Eva, which Joe and Eva are the strongest team, obviously, together. And then David's one of the stronger challenge competitors as well. But this individual immunity challenge now with the 4 of them comes down to the 2 girls, Mary versus Eva. It's the classic pole challenge where you have to do a foothold, and Jeff talks about how iconic it is and how they give you less and less foothold each season, which is stupid because what made the whole challenge iconic was Parvati and others being up there for hours on end. Nonetheless, I know this isn't a battle I'm going to win, so I'll keep it moving. Jeff and Mary have a funny back and forth where Jeff's like, some people want me to shut up and some people want to talk to me because Eva's talking to him, and Mary's like, yeah, Jeff, could you stop, and just basically tells him to shut up. I thought that was funny. All for naught, though. Eva is the one who wins individual immunity, so good for Eva. Gets on the board with her first individual immunity. She seemed pretty happy to get it, so hype for her. Now, I will say I think this whole dynamic of the twist is stupid, but I do like the aspect of them splitting off into these 4-4 groups where you have the 4 on the reward talking about the vote, then you have the 2 people back at camp. I remember last season it was Sue and Genevieve at the camp, I believe, and then 4 people going to play the stupid game. I wish they could kind of talk strategy as well, but they're more focused on the game for the camera and all that. But I do like this aspect of like the tribes being in different areas and then coming back together, and then the scramble ensues. I did like that in season 47, especially here. It kind of held up somewhat well as well, just because the communications are delayed and then it creates a scramble right before the vote. So first we pick up with Chrissy and Kyle. They're the 2 left back at camp, and Kyle's kind of just listening to whatever Chrissy will say. Obviously, she's pushing her narrative from last tribal council and early this episode of coming after Shaheen or Joe, one of the strong people. She's not here to see the strong people go to the end of the game and just steamlog people. I mean, I haven't been a big fan of Chrissy, and I don't know if that's inherent bias because they don't show her that much in the show. But Chrissy was my favorite player this episode, man. She was, pushing her narrative and just making sure that we weren't going to get a boring season, but some people don't like that. So Kyle just kind of agrees with her. He doesn't really know what to do because it's only the 2 of them back at camp. And then you have the journey for the losers of the challenge. They will play this game, which is different than the stacking game they did in season 47. One person loses their vote during this ball game, which I've found the dynamics of this game really stupid where a ball comes down a chute and then you have to take one or two balls, but I don't understand why you can just leave the red ball there. I mean, I didn't really understand the rule. I feel like they didn't do a great job explaining the rules, and also another like luck-based game where there's some strategy in it where you can screw people over. As we see Kamilla and Mitch do, they mouth to each other to get Star to lose her vote, having it being them two who are probably going to vote together, and then also Shaheen, who's part of the Big Strong Person Alliance. So don't ruffle his feathers. Star's kind of just a free agent, kind of doing whatever Star does at this point. So Star does realize that they're teaming up on her, and she loses her vote out of that challenge. And now we get to the reward group. And this is Eva, Joe, Mary, and David. Highlights here: Eva grabs a scroll in the chips. I know some people were upset with the placement of that, but it seemed like the chips were pretty open to other people to get. And yeah, we'll talk about her advantage in a second. But the narratives here: David is pushing Kamilla strong. He wants Kamilla out of the game, which is interesting considering they were considering doing at least from what we see, considering doing a Siva vote again, or like not a Siva vote again, but reuniting a Siva and then taking somebody out. So that was interesting that David's going so gung-ho for Kamilla. Mary also is going super hard for Kamilla. At this point in time, Joe is okay with it. He's like, I gotta just say whatever, and then I gotta go back and talk to my people. So we learn a little bit more about Eva's advantage. She has to sneak out and get an advantage tomorrow night, which if you're into the back and forth of the game, you know that tomorrow night is going to be until next episode. So we won't see Eva sneak out and try and get this advantage, but it seems pretty obvious that she'll just get it easily because like no one's going to be expecting unless you have like a Tony staying up all night looking for idols and stuff. I know they'll probably try and bring in some fake intrigue into it all, but I really don't see a world where Eva doesn't get this advantage or somebody finds her doing it, because it seems like you have to get up out of camp and then walk down the beach and find something. Like nobody's going to go down the beach. So we'll have to see what else Eva adds to her war chest besides the immunity idol she already has. And so back at camp, finally everyone is reunited together. The scramble ensues. Joe tells Kyle about the plan to vote Kamilla. And obviously this is not good for Kyle considering his number one ally is Kamilla. So Kyle tells Joe that Chrissy is coming for him. This is the best move you can ever do in Survivor when you want to deflect, is just say somebody's coming after you, because basically if someone's saying your name, you want them out automatically. So Joe now is kind of turning the tides and wants Chrissy out instead of Kamilla because Chrissy's pushing his name. So then David tells Kyle about the potential Kamilla vote, and this is when Kyle's like, oh shit, like this actually has some traction in Boots. He tells Kamilla, and so we get the kind of powwow here of everyone comparing notes and seeing what they want to do. Mary, Eva, and David seemingly are strongly pushing Kamilla. Kyle is trying to rally to keep it off Kamilla and get Chrissy out. Joe's in the middle, but seems like Joe has kind of the last say at the table. And that's where we leave off before heading to Tribal Council. Pretty short scenes before the Tribal Council this week. I think the vote might have already been kind of set in stone before they left. Like they probably were just like, all right, we're going to do Chrissy, right? Because I mean, we end up with an 8-1 vote here. So maybe they just kind of try to do some fake intrigue into it all. But Tribal Council was crazy. This was actually fun Tribal Council. I know I haven't been a big fan of the Tribal Councils in the new era. I feel like they just do the metaphor stuff and the trying to like speak in different codes and stuff. But you have Chrissy here with a W crash out. She's beefing with David at Tribal. Back and forth talking about the big guys. David's like, we need one season where the big guys get together and run the season. That's every season, brother. So I don't know. Obviously, David hasn't watched a lot of Survivor, but, you know, shit happens. Kamilla says something about impacting jury management, about how if you're like beefing with people at Tribal Council, they're not going to want to vote for you. So maybe that's a hint later down the line for what David's story ends up being. But I thought this was weird to be bringing up jury management at the final 10. I don't know. I don't really like when people talk about the jury in the game, especially when like it's the people that are going to be. I don't know. Felt weird to me. Felt a little off. But what do I know? I don't know. I just thought that was a weird comment. So after everything that happened at Tribal Council, I thought it would be Chrissy, and I was correct. It is an easy 8-1 vote to take out Chrissy. Parting words for Chrissy. You put up a good fight. That was some fun drama that she provided this last episode she was in. Seems like, the editors didn't love her. She wasn't that big on the show. But it was fun to have Chrissy here, and I'm sure her and Cedric had a great time at Ponderosa. So, yeah. Also, I think I didn't mention Star lost her vote, so that's why there's 9 votes of 10 people. So that's it for episode 8. Pretty middling episode, in my opinion. The season hopefully isn't going downhill, but this is definitely looking like a downhill trajectory so far. I'd say this episode's probably the weakest of this. No, I mean it was fun, but it was a pretty, you know, run of the mill episode in my opinion. So with that being said, top 3 players to win. I still got Joe number 1. This episode was mostly good for him. I think him and Kyle were the ones that wanted Chrissy to go, so the fact that he gets his way here is pretty good. I mean, he seemed to be a pretty strong voice in that contingent of the strong people, and I'm sure we'll get like a confession early next episode about how he was the one who like steered the votes to get Chrissy instead of Kamilla. I mean, Chrissy's coming straight for him, and he's able to deflect off that and get her out. So I got Joe number 1. Still a lot of strong editing stuff for him as well. Number 2, I got his partner in crime, Eva. Great episode for her as well. Won the immunity, had nice stuff with the advantage, and yeah, I mean, her edit stuff's been pretty good too. She didn't get her way this time, but I don't think if she wins, it's going to be like this huge strategic win. I think she will have a great story to tell due to her, outside of the game story and just the way she was able to survive this whole time. What people knew about that and her connection with Joe. I think her and Joe is winning this season at this point. Number 3, I got Xiaoheen. Felt like, I don't know, I think maybe I'm missing something with Xiaoheen, but a lot of people like him. I don't know. I thought this was a good episode for him, and he's been steady throughout the season. I just think that one episode where he got all that bad content in the Thomas episode was pretty bad. And instead of like, I don't see it where he has to take out Joe in order for Shaheen to win this game. Other people I think still have a chance would be Mitch and Kamilla. Not banking on it, but those are the 3 people I think are 5 people I think who still have a chance to win this game. I know it's over half the cast, so what do I know? But that's what I'm looking at for my top 5 overall, especially top 3 we focus on here. And with that being said, I'll get my top 3 out next. So number 1, I got Star. I feel like she's just buying time at this point, and if it's like a bunch of stuff happens, it's like, why don't we just vote Star? It's an easy vote. So I think Star could be in trouble. Mary, I think, was pushing Chrissy way too hard, and her and David's relationship got revealed. So I could see her being kind of a casualty here. I don't think she's really long for the game either. Third one I had a hard time with. It's easy to say Kamilla or Mitch because they've been targets, but I still think they have longevity in the game. I went with Kyle. I think of all the strong people, Kyle has the least substance to his game, hence resulting in him being an early one out, or the earliest one out of them all. Although he has been a lot of storyteller, so maybe he's like a finalist. I don't know. That's just where my head's at right now for top 3 out next, top 3 to win. So who's your guys' top 3 to win and top 3 out next? Let me know down below in the comments. Make sure to like, dislike, comment, subscribe to the Dubcast. 1 year strong, we're in this bitch. So it's been a great year, and I'm excited for the future of the Dubcast, learning every day on how to make it better. So in the future, we got White Lotus tier list will come out this weekend. After that, expect recaps of Daredevil, Born Again, Severance, Season 2, tier lists accompanying those recaps as well. And then on the movie review front, we have Backdraft and The Hunt for Red October. And besides that, sports, we had a great stream 2 nights ago when you're watching this video with Ali and Mikey predicting the whole NBA playoffs, brackets, round by round, series predictions, etc., and giving our NBA finals picks. And then this week we'll have mock draft, either a stream or me going at it again by myself, alone, predicting the NFL first round. So lots of stuff always coming up in the Dubcast. Appreciate you guys staying until the end of the video. And as always, be easy, y'all.